I really like the power of collective thinking, because it is with collective thinking that we can understand a particular topic, understand a particular concept, because there are multiple perspectives which come together. So if I put together what Mr. Prashad, Mr. Devnath, and Mr. Das have spoken, and then of course what Prasoon you have added on top of that, I think it is kind of giving us a complete, a completeness to our understanding of digital PSU and government organizations and smart. And being an analyst, there are more questions than answers that have come to my mind. So let me pose those to our leaders today here, and who I'm sure with their vast amount of experience will be able to throw good light upon that. First is how important is the automation drive, the various tools that you use in terms of automating how your IT infrastructure and applications are being managed and deployed, and where are you in the journey today? I mean, we all understand that there is a lot of cloudification that is happening. We have to make work multiple systems together. We have to know what is happening where in the organization. So if we were to kind of understand the journey of moving towards an automated IT infrastructure and applications, I call it the smart IT paradigm. Where are we in the journey?
Yeah, sure. When we decided to go with cloud deployment, a government community cloud for Indian Railways as such, we from the day one, we decided to go with automation as far as the provisioning of the infrastructure is concerned, the provisioning of the VMs, the storage allocation, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we had this vRealize automation suite with which we went, but soon we realized that that was not enough. And for example, one of the largest e-office application which we run for close to around 2 lakh plus employees of Indian Railways, we found that the identity and access management, that is LDAP server, is hosted in NIC, and we wanted to have a secondary LDAP because the primary LDAP server, the synchronization time and the latencies were high, the load was high on that. So we decided to have a secondary LDAP because always we used to have some challenges, though the portal was live, but because of failure authentication, people not able to access the application. When we did the secondary LDAP, we also found that though we have deployed additional resources for that, but the synchronization time was 24 hours. That is, every 24 hours, the updates will happen. So if any user has changed password, he will not be able to get authenticated against the secondary LDAP. So this was an application, or LDAP was designed with something in mind that, okay, the bandwidth is expensive, the replication time is very high, but with the telecom bandwidth, we all know that how the internet is working and the cloud services started, and the bandwidth of 100G, 10G, 100G, we're talking about, earlier we used to talk about 10 Mbps, 100 Mbps, 1G, now we talk about 10G, 40G bandwidth and 100G bandwidth. So what we did is, because when the primary LDAP server hit, then we have to basically edit each of those, some 20 instances of the servers to start communicating with the new LDAP. And this was to be done manually. So we had around 100 VMs, and doing it manually, each taking 5 minutes. So 5 to 100. So 500 minutes it takes to really just change that primary LDAP IP address with the secondary LDAP IP address. So that was a time when we thought that we have to, this is one problem which we are seeing. But then continuously updating the patches, especially for the operating system, the application, the security patches, also was extremely important for us. So we went with another automation solution, which is from Ansible Tower we deployed. And through Ansible Tower, which was something The task which I was telling, the problem of LDAP replacing with the primary to secondary in the parameter file, was just a matter of few minutes. So across all the 100 instances or 100 servers, we are able to change it within a minute or so. So the user were, they never had any downtime or any, even they didn't realize any problem. If any problem comes with the NIC LDAP system, we were still able to handle all the eventualities, and we are able to give almost 99.949 of reliability as far as the application concerned. First of all, the infrastructure is a scalable infrastructure with a cloud layer across multiple availability zones. Second is on the application itself, we have tried to ensure that we are able to get 99.99. So it is not only the infrastructure which usually people commit that it is 99.9 or 95, whatever, but on the application side also we are able to achieve a very high reliability. So automation is extremely important because when you are looking at a large scale or scaling up things, you writing playbooks, and using an automation engine, like for example, we have used this Ansible tower. There are other tools also for configuration management data and carrying out automation for even taking backups, for example. You can automate the backups for taking the configuration file of, let us say, your core router. You do backup for the application, but configuration file backups for the firewall, for example. Suppose the firewall fails and you want to basically install another firewall, or basically replace the hardware and then again try to bring it faster. It's important to have all the backups or the configuration file for all these devices. So we have written a lot of script, a lot of playbooks to automate a lot of tasks in our data center.
Yeah, good question for a large organization like railways, where automation plays a very key role. But the difference from a pure ICT service provider like Railtel, railways is majorly a transport service provider. So the IT based automation can only be a service to the main product, which is transportation of goods and passengers. So yes, whatever automation is happening at the front end, wherever the IT or the digital tools are able to help, that we can help automate. Something like, I will take an example of the booking of goods or rakes and then moving it and disseminating it to the customers. The freight operation information system tries to automate that process from books and paper-based records. Now it is all based on digital system where everything is calculated automatically. The time has shortened a lot, and even now, even payment is sometimes done automatically through electronic way bridges. Similarly, on the passenger side, we have the passenger reservation system or the web ticketing systems, which are somehow automating the window-based ticketing system, and even taken a leap forward, and they are providing it on over the web to the end user. But again, there are certain pitfalls to this automation also, because too much dependence on the digital system has somehow, in my personal experience, somehow it has removed or almost taken away the manual process knowledge of the people in the field. So sometimes when there are issues with the network or with the digital systems going down, then there are no manual backups and there are no manual processes to take them over. We are having playbooks and processes to how to respond to an incident and continue the business. But most of the time, because of the lack of knowledge or the change of people or the lack of tools to, like the books, the fare tables on the sites, those business process continuation theories do not translate into actual actions, and then the customer is slightly inconvenienced in those times. So I feel that the automation in a supportive role, like what IT or the digital is for a larger service of transportation, should be in such a way that there are alternatives available both at the digital side, which means the network, the systems, the DR, the backup, etc., etc. But there should be also enough human resource training and awareness backup available, so that in case of natural disruptions, or because of some disaster somewhere in some part of the country, the local people or local employees are able to support the customer, our annadata or my bap. We are able to retain them and not put them to inconvenience, so that they run away to alternative modes of transportation. So I think it is good to automate things and in the digital way, but then we have to also be very cautious and mindful of the alternatives, both in terms of technology as well as in terms of human resource awareness and training for those jobs.
As far as this automation is concerned, we have procured this automation anywhere robotic process automation tool from Automation Anywhere, and just 7-8 months back. And in these 7-8 months, we made it popular among our young engineers, and we have developed not less than 50 use cases using robotic process automations. Basically, this is useful in the area where the processes are mostly rule based, formula based, and repetitive steps are there. So basically, huge amount of man hours have been saved by utilizing this robotic process automation. And most importantly, we could make it popular among our engineers, and they have come forward to identify the new cases, and they are developing the solutions of their own. That is what is very important. And number two, we have earned the faith of our business peoples, and they are coming forward to digitalize their day-to-day processes in terms of robotic process automations. That is what we have significantly improved. And besides this robotic process automation, we have significantly progressed towards analytics development. Deploying machine learning based assisted analytics of OT data has a lot of potential in drawing benefits of business in terms of predictive maintenance, efficient asset utilization, efficiency improvement in process units, yield improvement, etc. However, it is equally challenging from the cybersecurity point of view also. We all know about the recent breach of security in a pipeline system in US in just few days back. We needed to take sufficient safeguards in cybersecurity so that we could develop and deploy these initiatives through OEMs as well as in-house.
So maybe I can take the clue from this automation part of it. Automation, I think, is probably being used in various areas to improve the efficiency, right? That is the primary, the operational efficiency. And what we have seen, or we are seeing in the industry, including public sector undertaking, is that one way of using automation is basically the workflow automation, and other one is the process automation. These two areas we can see, and how it is actually benefiting customers. One, definitely Mr. Das has mentioned about it. They are using robotic process automation, and a lot of benefits are definitely coming to improve the efficiency, removing the repetitive mundane jobs. But I think there are 2-3 important aspects which is coming into that. Wherever you have multiple applications and wherever you have a legacy applications, right? And when you want to create a workflow automation into that, either you have to go for some kind of new application development, but you want to avoid that. I think that is one area where RP or the automation is being used. And some other places also we have seen is that orchestration and automation is being used together, by which you can do kind of low code or no code kind of workflow you are creating more automation into that. That is one part. Second part, what we have seen is that even in the service management, where you are actually serving your users or the customers within the organization, giving the not only the IT service, also the enterprise services through IT, that is where we also see a lot of automation is happening, because you do not have too many people to serve customers' complaints or the different calls which is coming to service desk, right? So you actually can use automation by actually responding to all this kind of customer escalation or the user escalation level 1, level 2 at a software level itself, creating a process, right? Or creating your own process into the through automation. And rest of the things can come to level 3 and level 4 to the experts to take certain decisions. Same goes into cyber security as well, or the security operations. We see the security operations today, you have lakhs of events happening in a day, or thousands of events happening in a day. It is not humongous things not possible to respond by your staff, IT staff, or by your vendors or the solution provided to handle everything. So again, the automation and orchestration also is being used in security side of it as well. So this is one part of it. What the automation, how we are also helping a lot of customers into that with our, on the security side, there's something called SOAR, or you also have something called user behavior analytics, which is the AIML stuff, which is you are using actually to respond to or proactively doing a lot of protection of your infrastructure, of your applications, not only the users, but also to the entities, right? Because you do not know from where somebody is working. Even the threat can happen internally. So, then you are also using this kind of technology to manage your identity as well. So that is the second part of it. Third part, I'll just mention probably, as somebody in this panelist mentioned about the DevSecOps, right? Because you are also trying to adapt to make your organization agile for your applications which is running, or the application which is being developed or to be rolled out. Now, what Micro Focus can help in this space as well, because we help customer on creating those DevOps framework, helping customer also to do a lot of testing, which actually starting from the entire SDLC lifecycle, starting from the development to rollout, whether it is a functional or it is a load testing or it is a security testing as well. So these are the areas where we are helping a lot of our customers. Third, definitely, whenever you are doing your IT operations, as you have mentioned, that a lot of cloudification is happening, because for public sector enterprise, it is hybrid, right? Because you have many things on cloud, but mostly things are on premise. I'm sure going forward, you will be adopting a lot more cloud for your different applications. So now, knowing what you have in your on-premise is easier, but what you have in cloud is difficult. And it is become even more difficult when you have combinations. How do you know what you have in cloud as well as on-premise? So it is important that you need to have tools or some softwares which will help you to seamlessly see what you have across the enterprise, and then you decide not only application but infrastructure, a whole lot of new things coming up. So you need to have something very matured platform which can help you to do a lot of things automatic or autonomous way. And that is what I think, with our experience of more than 40 years of experience in helping customer to IT operations management, in cybersecurity, in data protection, and many other areas, or the application development, testing, software automation, and stuff like that. Definitely, we can help you in multiple different domains. Would be really happy, because we have our center of excellence demo center, which nowadays in last 2 years we have made it accessible online, and you actually can go and see a lot of use cases and see that how it is useful for you. Even we can create customized use cases as well for your kind of environment to be created, because it's all software and it is in a system, so it can be done. So this is in our internal cloud, which we host all those things. We'll be really happy to talk to you individually, understand few things, maybe pick up few use cases, create it, and see that how we can help your organizations in your journey of digital transformation.